Listen up, hockey fans. You're in the right place. A no-hold-barred debate between two hockey fans. Stay up to date on current issues in the NHL, even the controversial ones. Welcome to The Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud.
Usual space open up there. Here's Cadwell. Marner moving in, shoots, he scores! Play goal for Mitch Marner, and the Maple Leafs have their first lead of the game.
How about this no-look pass, cross seam, and Marner with his head up the entire way. Just blast that one past short side.
It is time for episode number 70 of the Debate Hockey Podcast. It is August 20th, 2019. We are in the heart of the summer off-season in the National Hockey League. I am the host of the show, Brad Burud, joined alongside my co-host, Blake Friars. Tonight, we end season 2 with the 70th episode of the show.
Can't believe it's been that many already, man.
It doesn't seem like it, does it, Blake?
Not really, no.
I'm ready for summer to be over. How about you?
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating summer for myself. You know, I got foot surgery. Just started walking like last week, and you know, I'm ready for hockey season to begin, man. I can't wait.
Me too. You know, and outside the last couple nights, you know, the temperatures drop a little bit more at night, and it
gets chilly, man.
Yeah, it's that crisp air and that fall air, and I love that. You can put on a pair of shorts and a sweatshirt and be comfortable, go out and hit some golf balls, and it's a lot more comfortable outside. You know, you got hockey right around the corner. When you get that cool air, you start thinking a little bit more about that. And this last couple of weeks has been a little bit tough. Like, there's just been absolutely no NHL news. It's just been quiet, so we're going to make the best of this show, our final one of Season 2, and I'm really excited for Season 3, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show and give you guys an update of what you're going to see from Blake and I in Season 3. We got some big announcements coming in the near future, and we're excited as can be to get going here in September with our third season of the show. I don't know, where are we at as we wrap up this season?
Is there any RFA updates today, maybe?
Hey, we're going to talk a little bit about that later on in the show, and maybe some opinions, and it's a lot of positioning going on right now.
It's a waiting game, man.
Yeah. You know what else is good, Blake? This is our last episode of the summer, which means that we're not going to be doing this remote. We're going to be next to each other for our next show, and it's kind of fun. I mean, I like doing them like we're doing them right now, but it's sure a lot more fun when we're sitting there and we can give each other a hard time in person. But
yeah, I planned on being back in mine on last week, but I had a little bit of a setback with my foot. So
hey, well, it happens, and you'll be back taking the ride from the Great White North down to the States tomorrow. And September is right around the corner as we're sitting at August 20th, and midway through September, I think it's like the 12th camps open in the NHL. And boy, then the news will really start flying, because honestly, since mid-July, it's pretty much shut off. And
yeah, no, I love training camp, like position battles and, maybe like a surprise cut or something, I'm all for that. And, I like that kind of stuff.
When you look back at season 2 for us, we had a lot of episodes. We did 40 episodes, which was what we shoot for every year, is 40 episodes. And what was your favorite part of last season in the NHL? What was your favorite moment in the NHL? I'm putting you on the spot.
Probably St. Louis won the Stanley Cup, because it was their first ever cup, and just the road that St. Louis kind of took to get there, right? I mean, they were last place in January, right? And Jordan Binnington comes in and they just took off, and they really surprised a lot of people in the playoffs. But I probably got to go with St. Louis winning the Stanley Cup.
That's just going to be a story that we're going to talk about for decades, because it's probably not something we'll see done again in our lifetime. Maybe we will. Yeah, I would.
Pretty rare. Yeah.
And I think about my favorite part of the season. I'm not trying to be a homer or anything, but I mean, we don't pull any bones. I'm a Calgary Flames fan. You're a Vancouver Canucks fan. And this was the first year where on a nightly basis, I could turn my Flames on and turn the post-game show on after and listen to the radio show and interact with that a little bit and, feel good about it and be excited for the next game. And not that there was some frustrations this year, but all in all, when your team wins a conference, that's pretty good. And a lot of fun.
I was gonna go down that road, but I didn't know if you just put me on blast again. But
well, what, your Canucks? Come on, Blake, your Canucks didn't make the playoffs.
The growth of the team, though.
No, it's exciting. I think you have a lot to be excited for in Vancouver. I don't think they're coming as quick as you think they're coming, but there's definitely strides in the right direction. That's for sure. We're going to talk about this. I got a couple questions for you about your team.
Sure.
Later on.
I like questions.
Speaking of the show, let's get going. Well, I got one more announcement before we get going. Please go to Inside Edge Hockey News. That is our home base for this podcast. And I've spent quite a bit of time here in the last couple months completely revamping that website. So go to InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com and check that out. And hopefully it's a little bit more user-friendly. And we're always putting out information on there, whether it be through social media or other podcasts that we do. And I do some rankings on a weekly basis on there. And we have a little bit of fun on that website. So check that out. And other news, we're hoping to announce some very big sponsorship news here later in the week. Check back on social media for that announcement. Hopefully you'll be seeing that here in the next week. Today's show, we're going to roll through some NHL offseason news real quick. Then we're going to talk about RFAs. Then we're going to each discuss who we think are 3 teams on the upswing and 3 teams on the downswing in our segment called 3 Up, 3 Down. And then we are going to talk about the Stanley Cup bets. And the odds are out in Vegas. And I kind of spent some time looking on this week and named a couple teams that I thought, you know what? These are long shots, but this is a team that you could probably put some money down and do okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Should be an exciting show. We always enjoy doing these. And let's finish off season 2 with a good one, Blake.
NHL news, opinions, and controversy.
All right, Blake, we're going to start off episode 70 and talk just a quick rundown of a couple things I jotted down for NHL offseason news. Nothing too pressing, but I got some questions for you, and I'm just going to kind of pick your brain and discuss the happenings around the league.
Sure.
First thing that kind of came to mind is, when we go through the offseason like this, we look at teams and we look at, man, is that team going to be better? Is that team not? It's all speculation, and I love the offseason because no matter what team you're a fan of, you kind of think your team's going to be better, or you sure as hell hope. You sure hope so.
Yep.
I got a question for you. Who is the most dysfunctional franchise in the National Hockey League?
Oh, it's got to be Ottawa, man.
Do you think so? They came to mind.
There's
honestly, I wrote down 6 of them, to be honest with you. But then I narrowed it down to 2. What?
If I pick one though, I'd probably say Ottawa because of there's such a disconnection between the owner and the fans, and there's just
Here's the deal though, Blake. Is it a short-term dysfunction?
I mean, let's face it, though. This team was literally one shot away from the Stanley Cup in 2017.
That's what I'm saying.
But they're nowhere close to the playoffs.
No,
close.
I know, and I agree.
They're a disaster right now.
But they're a dysfunctional short-term team, though, right? When I'm talking, I'm going to say the Florida Panthers. This team has made the playoffs, I believe, 2 times.
Yeah.
Since 1993.
You could say the Islanders too.
Kind of, but the Islanders
up until last year.
Yeah, but the Islanders have made the playoffs double the amount of times that Florida has.
What, 4?
Florida Panthers fans are gonna freaking text me now, and
but
it might be more than 2, but it hasn't been a lot more.
The last one I could think of was in 2016, and they lost to the Islanders in Game 6, but
Well, it sure as hell hasn't been a lot.
But I think they're heading in the right direction though.
Well, you
Definitely.
can't get worse.
I'm not saying their attendance is going to be heading in the right direction, but as overall
I just looked
franchise,
at their team,
I think they're heading in the right direction.
Another team I think is in the skids right now is Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Are they dysfunctional? Yeah, they're dysfunctional now.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at other teams. I just looked.
Vancouver's been pretty dysfunctional the last 5 years.
Well, I think we can say that about almost every team, and that's why when I thought about this question harder, I kind of hit myself and thought, "Hey, knock it off! You're thinking of sudden dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking of like really who's been dysfunctional for a long time. I mean, Florida's the freaking Cleveland Browns of the National Hockey League.
You could say up until the last 3 years, Toronto.
Yeah, but Toronto has history, and I'm not saying we should be living up to history.
But they haven't won a playoff series since 2004.
But their organization is not dysfunctional.
No, it's not dysfunctional, but like
I asked who's dysfunctional. Name me one positive going on in Florida.
I mean, they got Bobrovsky.
They haven't. Okay,
they got Barkov
until they prove something to me, though. I mean, what have they done lately? They don't have any attendance. They had high hopes the last 3 years, to be honest with you, and gave us 1 year of mediocrity and a first round out.
Mm-hmm. No, we'll see. They got a good young core, so
I like their core.
We'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. Their biggest need was goaltending. They had no problem scoring goals last year, so they got a proven goaltender. They probably would have made the playoffs last year if they had a goaltender. I'll flat out go on record saying that. If Luongo was healthy and a little bit younger, I think they'd probably make the playoffs.
Will Panarin live up to the hype in New York?
I mean, he better. He's getting $11 million.
That's a big price tag for him to live up to.
It is. I mean, especially in a market like New York, the Big Apple, the bright lights. I mean, he went from playing in, I mean, no disrespect to Chicago and Columbus. Those markets are nowhere near New York. I mean, especially on that kind of stage. And I mean, we'll see.
He's not going to have a lot of the guys next to him that he's had.
I mean, they don't really got much cap space to really provide him with help. I mean, Capo is going to be a big guy there for them, but
he's 18 years old.
So
that's the thing, or 19. I mean, the kid's good.
Yeah,
and I think he's going to be a great player. Actually, I think he's going to pan out better than Hughes.
Yeah, over the long. I don't know. I think it's other way around. I think that Kakko's going to have a better impact right now, but over the longevity of an NHL career, I think Hughes will have a better career.
We'll see. I think the Rangers have done a lot of good things. I do. I really, and I'll talk about that later in the show. But
yeah,
I do. I like what the Rangers have done.
The Rangers' biggest question is how much gas is left in the tank of King Henrik Lundqvist.
His tank to me has been running low the last few years.
I mean, like how many years?
He has not been even a top.
But I mean, you look at the stats. I mean, he's faced the most shots the last 4 or 5 years, and he's getting up there in age, and he might have maybe 2-3 years left of him.
I don't know.
I mean, they don't really got anybody coming up in the system in net, so we'll see what they do.
What a dumpster fire in Minnesota.
I mean, dude.
I'm going to plug 2 podcasts right now that is not ours, because I listened to a segment, and I'm going to plug 3 people because it was actually the most interesting topic I read about and listened to about this summer, and that was the firing of Paul Fenton. Mm-hmm. Now, the Steve Dangle podcast, if you listen to that one, I recommend listening to the one where they talk about the firing of Fenton, and the Spit and Chicklets one where they talk about this. Now, they are both referencing is an article written in The Athletic by Mike Russo, a great writer in Minneapolis.
He ripped him.
But he professionally ripped him, and he backed everything up. It is to a T. Quite honestly, probably the best article I've read in 10 years. Good.
And he came on. He went on Spit and Chicklets too, and and he pretty much backed up everything what he said in the article. I read the article too.
Listen to the Steve Dangle take on it. It is unreal. It is hilarious, first of all.
I will.
It is really, really good. And after listening to that and reading that and learning about this, it is hard to fathom that this guy learned from somebody so masterful.
Like David Poile.
Poile.
Blake,
how long have we been
talking about David Poile. Like David Poile. But yeah, I was just gonna get on to that point.
He worked him like a fiddle in the Fiala trade too. His old boss just played him. They go into so much detail in those podcasts and in that article. It is unreal, and it is so funny. And I have no doubt that 80% of the Minnesota Wild wanted out last year. And I went to their game in April, I
went to one in March.
Yeah. Oh no, wait. I went a week before you.
Yeah.
I went to
and we both came back and said the same thing. It's the most boring hockey game I've ever watched in my life.
The most boring National Hockey League game I've ever been to in my life.
Yep.
They
No
got
atmosphere.
beat by Anaheim that night, 3-0 in Minnesota. And it looked like they could have cared less that they were even playing the game.
Yeah.
They could have cared less. Bruce Boudreau's head was so red on the bench. I thought he was going to pop. And I really like that guy, and I feel sorry for him because he got freaking hung out to dry on this. Benton brings in his buddy, fires Boudreau's buddy as an assistant coach. Like, who does this crap? This is worse than like a shitty GM in the junior hockey. I mean, this is bad stuff.
And yeah, and the biggest question mark I have with the Minnesota Wild is if you were going to fire Paul Fenton, why did you allow him to sign that huge contract to Matt Zuccarello in the offseason? Like at 32 years old, I mean, they gave him a 5-year deal at was it a 6-year deal at $5 million per, or was it 5 years at $6 million per? But like regardless, it was a horrible contract, and it's just like, well, if you were going to hand the keys off to another GM, I mean, why would you let him sign that contract in the first place? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. We saw that in Edmonton too, though. I mean, I don't know.
Koskinen. Yeah.
I don't know. It's puzzling.
I mean, who
Minnesota's got a lot of work to do.
Who would you put your money on for a new GM
in Minnesota?
Yeah,
I know they've interviewed quite a few. You want to know another funny one is Don Waddell completely fleeced him on the Victor Rask. They were
in a Niederreiter trade.
They were going to buy out Rask at the end of the year, and they got Niederreiter for Rask even up, and so he fleeced him on that trade. Then this offseason, Waddell wasn't getting the contract he wanted from tight-ass owner of the Hurricanes, Dutton. So he goes and gets permission to interview in Minnesota and uses the team he fleeced
as leverage.
As leverage to get a new – the guy's a freaking genius. Don Waddell went from a nobody in my book to one of the best GMs in the league. That is unreal.
Yep. And for replacement, they might go like Ron Hextall or something.
No, they're not bringing Hextall in.
They might. They've interviewed him. Who knows?
I don't see that. We'll
see.
You want me to make a true Minnesotan bet?
Oh,
I'm not from Minnesota. I'm from North Dakota. So Minnesota, not real high on my list.
You're a big Gopher fan, no?
Oh my God! Anything Minnesota sports. The only Minnesota sports team I watch is the Twins.
The Vikings?
No, I'm not even a Vikings fan.
Oh.
I'm a Twins fan.
All right.
That is the only Minnesota sports team that I will follow. It's ridiculous. Minnesota. Here's what Minnesota will do, and if I'm right on this, this will be as silly as me picking the Islanders last year. They will hire somebody with ties to Minnesota hockey. Just watch.
We'll see.
They always do this. Oh, we'll bring in him. He played for the North Stars in '72.
Mike Bandano.
Hey, it could happen. That's probably not as far-fetched as you think that comment. Okay, I got to talk about something that got me all fired up this offseason. I don't want to talk about this for long, but the Lucic for Neil trade. What was your thoughts when you first heard that go down?
Oh, man, I just feel like that Calgary kind of gave up too soon. I mean, he scored 20 goals 8 times in his career.
Don't sound like a hypocrite, though. You ripped him all year, though, Blake, so don't.
I know. I'm saying, but I would have gave him another go. Players have down years, but to get Lucic in, I mean, yeah, you add toughness, but you also get a lot slower. And I'm not saying Neil is a speed demon either,
No.
but I mean, you get toughness, but I just can't, like, I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense for either team. I mean, it's pretty much a bad contract for a bad contract. I mean, but I could easily see Neil slotting in alongside Connor McDavid and getting upwards of 25-plus goals.
Can't keep up. I don't think he'll do well on that line.
All you got to do is go to the net and McDavid will find you, though.
He couldn't do that with Gaudreau and Monahan.
I understand that, but I mean there is a possible fit alongside McDavid, though.
No, I'm not saying that either. Because
McDavid
I thought a year ago today, I thought Neil was going to be a great fit.
Well, and this too,
and it didn't work. But here, when this first went down, I'm a Flames fan, so when I first saw this, I thought, you have got to be kidding me. I was pissed off. I was so pissed off. But the first thing I thought was, damn it, they better flip him to Vancouver. That was my.
You're getting Louis Erickson back. So how you like that?
That? But okay, but I got talked off the ledge by a couple of fellow Flames fans, and none of them were happy with this either. But here's the way it broke down. Lucic has been a pile of garbage in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
Neil was a pile of garbage in Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing Neil back, yeah, he had an upside, but his relationship was already strained because he got healthy scratched in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
him and the coach
is it a fence that's worth mending? Now, what was the biggest downfall of the Calgary Flames in the playoffs?
They got like literally beaten up.
Yes.
No, they have no time.
Went and ran and hid in his Barbie car, and I mean they were a complete no-show.
Yep.
Now I'm not saying that this is a goon league anymore, and I am sure as hell not a Milan Lucic fan. But at least
I think you will be in December.
I hope so. I don't know. I've never liked the guy, but you know what? I might be. But he might at least give you the fear factor. And everybody says that's gone in this league, but obviously in the playoffs it wasn't, because look at the tough teams advanced.
Look at St. Louis. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. We all say it's a speed league, and I agree it is for 82 games. But when the puck dropped in Stanley Cup, the Lightning bowed out and the Flames bowed out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. Maybe this isn't so bad.
Where do you see him slotting in? Third line? Fourth line, eh?
Yeah, see, you got to remember here's the luxury we have. When we had James Neal, we couldn't put him on the fourth line. We had to have him at least on the third or the second because of status. Well, we're getting Lucic, and he's like, both of them now are like picking up garbage off the side of the road.
Yeah.
So wherever we put them, they better shut up and play it.
I mean, yeah, I honestly, I could see him slotting alongside who's your third line center, like Derek Ryan or Janikowski?
It's going to be Derek Ryan's going to be our fourth line center.
Okay, so I could see him playing alongside Janikowski. I think that would be
Janikowski. I want him with Bennett.
That could be your third line.
Yeah, but Lucic isn't going to fit. He doesn't. You need another guy that can help Bennett with offense there.
You got Jankowski. I think that I like that third line. I really do. I think he's going to be on the third line with Jankowski and Bennett.
I don't know. We'll see. I
don't know. But going back to James Neal, people forget that Patrick Maroon scored 20-plus goals alongside McDavid. Is he fast?
No, hey,
James, exactly. Oh, that's what I'm
I
saying.
might have a chance to score 20 next to Connor McDavid. I mean, holy cow. I mean, like, what are we asking for here?
I think it was a majorly desperate move by Edmonton, though, because
Well, I think it's a major.
they have no scoring depth on the wing, zero.
But see, Edmonton had less to lose than Calgary in this whole deal.
Absolutely it did.
So, if you're an Edmonton fan, you got to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You got scoring potential. Calgary's not getting scoring potential. They're getting toughness potential, though.
He might score 10 goals. Maybe.
I don't know.
What's next on the agenda?
Let's talk. I just got another question for you.
Okay.
William Nylander has been all over the press lately telling us how he's going to have such a huge bounce back year.
Comeback season.
Do you think so?
He's ready to dominate. Like, are we talking like 7 goals dominate, or are we what are we talking about? Like, what is your definition of dominate?
Shouldn't he have 35 plus goals with that price tag?
He should have 30 for sure. Absolutely, he should have 30. He should have 70 points. And I'll tell you what. His ceiling is 50 points. He's not very good.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but
he's like what did he do in the playoffs?
Nothing. What did he do in the regular season?
Nothing. That's what I'm like. He's overrated. He looks good in his Harry Potter glasses, I must say, though.
Yeah.
Makes a better lawyer than a hockey player. I don't know.
Let's talk Vancouver here for 1 second. They signed Jim Benning to an extension.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're a Canucks fan.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get your brilliant wisdom on this one.
I really like this extension. There's 2 parts to this. There's 2 parts to this. I don't like the timing. I don't like the timing of the extension, but
isn't that kind of like giving your waiter a tip
before you order your food?
Well, yeah, he brings your water to you, and he does a good job with the water. So you throw down a 30% tip to your waiter, and you just hope to hell he delivers the goods.
Yeah, but I think that with the additions of Ferland, I mean,
you're gonna hate that.
No, listen, I'm not gonna hate it. Listen to me, man.
You're gonna
quit cutting me off.
Lucic might be better than Ferland.
All right, that's enough. With the additions of Miller and drafting Pettersson, Hughes, Besser. I mean, they got all this young core. Horvat. They got all this young core. Markstrom's turning into a legit number 1 starter. I believe they got Demko behind him. I feel like that ownership and Benning are eye to eye on this overall plan. So I mean, they're going to give Jim Benning the opportunity to see this thing out. But that doesn't mean Jim Benning won't be fired. I mean, they let go of Gillis when he had 4 years left, and they let go of John Tortorella when he had 4 years left. I mean, they're not afraid to fire people with term. But
that's a good thing.
That being said, I don't think Jim Benning gets a lot of. I think he gets least credit than he deserves. I mean, look at the core he's drafted. Just wouldn't you kill to have a core of Besser, Pettersson, Hughes, that Bassey, Pog, Colson kid? I mean, they're absolutely loaded up front.
They're fine. Yeah, they're a good hockey. They got some good prospects. I'll give you that. But you know what, though? He still hasn't delivered. And I know they're young, and it's time to deliver.
Yeah, why do you think they went out and got Ferland and Miller? Because they got pushed around every damn year.
But couldn't they wait until December to do this?
December? Oh, yeah. Extension?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I just think
Besser signed maybe. That probably
I just think that they didn't want the label of a lame duck GM.
So we're worried about labels in Vancouver now?
Well, no, I'm just saying. I feel like ownership didn't want Benning going into the season in a contract year. I don't think they're comfortable. Why?
Because God forbid, would we want to push somebody to make really good decisions?
I mean, they have made good decisions lately. They sort up their defense. We're getting Myers and Jordan.
That Miller deal was not a good deal.
It will be a good deal. I'm telling you right now. he is going to be a good player for us this year. He's got versatility. He can play in the first line. He can play in the second line. He can be a third line center. He can kill penalties, play on the power play. We haven't had a guy like that probably since Alex Burrows. I mean, he's versatile. He can play everywhere. I like the addition of Miller and Ferland because, like I said, we're not going to get pushed around in the Western Conference no more. We got some grit and toughness, and we added some secondary scoring. So, I mean,
what do you think that Ferland Lucic tilt's going to be like?
Ooh, you think they'll go? You think they'll, have they gone before?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm excited because
that's going to be a good tilt.
Like, it will be a good tilt, and I'm excited for Vancouver to play Calgary again because both teams are like getting better. You know, like back in the day when they were both good and there was the bloodbath. It's kind of getting back to those days. But,
like when we beat you in the playoffs in the first round?
Yeah, I mean, we got the Canuck killer himself, Ferland, man. He killed us that year in the first round. Him and Bieksa went 5 rounds.
And Bieksa lost all 5, too. Let's talk some RFAs, and let's get this Vancouver talk out of the way. Brock Besser, where are we at with this? What's going to happen? Do you think this one drags into the season?
No, I don't think. Here's 2 reasons why I don't think it will drag on. Last year, Besser missed training camp with his back injury, and he got off to a horrible start.
He did.
I think that he's going to want to get this shit done with, right? And he's going to want to get into training camp and get comfortable and get off to a better start. And going into training camp without a contract is not good for Brock Besser, and I think the two will get down a long-term deal around 7 years, $7.5 million, maybe $8 million.
You know that Brock Besser is actually one of my favorite players.
Really? I mean, it probably kills you inside to say that. I mean, he played in North Dakota. I mean,
no, he is actually one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
Let's talk Patrick Laine.
Oof.
And boys, there have been a ton of news here in the last week, and I kind of giggle when I hear the news. Everybody's like, oh no, he's leaving Winnipeg because he said this in an interview. What do you think he is supposed to say in the interview? Do you think he's going to get an interview and be like, yeah, you know, when I signed that contract in Winnipeg for whatever, give me a break. But
what are they supposed to say?
He's going to say, hey, wherever I end up, and I'm going to do the best I can wherever I'm playing. He's got to say the right things to get more money. Like, what do you want him to say? You want him to get on the interview and be like, yeah, I'll cave into the Jets offer. Like, what? Like, what do you want him to say? What do you expect?
I don't know what really to say about this whole line situation. I still believe that
he's the one guy I think may not end up in Winnipeg.
He's going to get a bridge deal.
I think he's getting a 1-year deal.
And what, we're just going to do this every single year? Because they have his rights for four more years.
They're going to trade him.
You really think so?
I do. They're going to trade
because
him.
Like, the thing is, they got $17 million, right?
They're going to trade
so they still got to sign Kyle Connor. And he was arguably better than Laine last year.
Not even arguably. He was better than Laine.
Yeah. He had more goals.
My gut tells me that Laine has a bigger upside.
All around game, I disagree with you because
I didn't say all around game. I said he has a higher goal scoring potential than Kyle Connor.
I'll take Kyle Connor's 30 goals. You can have Laine's 35, and Kyle Connor will play a good defensive two-way game.
I think. Okay.
Who would you rather have right now? Would you rather have Laine or Kyle Connor?
Laine. I think Laine is going to score 50 goals in the National Hockey League before his career is done.
Oh, absolutely would.
Have a 50-goal season. I'm serious. I honestly
believe with you, but he's a major defensive liability.
No, he's not that bad. Holy cow. I could name 20 players in the league that are liability. Alexander Ovechkin was a liability for 3/4 of his career.
Yeah, and look who Laine's turning in to be. That's who he's turning to be.
Hopefully he does, because Ovechkin's turned that around and become a pretty darn good defensive player, and now he's hoisting the cup.
I don't think the Jets will be hoisting the cup.
You thought so last year. You picked them. Boy, how funny how things change. How
That
about
was before they lost.
I don't forget.
I don't care. You're not telling the other side of the story here. That was before they lost 3 of their top 6 D-men.
I just said you picked them last year, dude.
Yeah, when they had a good decor.
Oh, wait a second.
So much
The year
no more.
before that, you picked Edmonton. So
yeah, let's not talk about that.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk Kyle Connor. I think they get Kyle Connor signed, and you know what? I think I'm going to make a prediction here. I think he's going to be the first guy out of these. I wrote down 7 of them. I think he's going to be the first of the 7 to sign, and I think it'll come in the next week or next couple weeks.
Yeah, I think Kyle Connor and Brock Besser will be the first 2 to sign.
Matthew Tkachuk.
Oof. You see what his agent said?
Yeah, and I think it's what we talked about, like same as Laine. What's he supposed to say? I do believe he.
I wonder what that. Like in your mind, what is a fair offer for Matthew Tkachuk?
Matthew Tkachuk. I'm just guessing now. I have no information. I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
I'm guessing what he asked the Flames for was 7 years at 8.25.
So why didn't they give him the check and pay him? That's a fit.
Wait a second though. They don't have to right now.
Yeah, I get that. All the GMs hold the leverage over all these RFAs. I totally understand that, but
personally, I'd like to see Calgary sign him for 4 years.
I think it's
6.85.
You ain't getting him at 6.85. I think it's going to be a
5-year
deal at $7.75 million.
I'd be fine with that.
I think like
that would be Calgary Flames fan, but I don't know that Matthew Tkachuk is the be-all and end-all.
He's your future captain.
I don't think so.
I think he is. But
why do you say that?
I think the biggest thing with Tkachuk is term. I think that's the hold up here on this whole on a lot of these contracts is term.
If he was smart though, he'd be better off taking 5 years and then having another big, huge payday.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Austin Matthews take that route.
Right? I mean, I don't know. I know there's risk of injury and all those things. But I don't know. Braden Point. Where do you see Braden Point? I thought this one would be done. He's not leaving Tampa Bay.
They don't have much cap space, though. That's the biggest problem with why all these RFAs aren't signed is because there's less cap space.
Yeah.
And teams like Toronto, who went out and signed John Tavares, are kind of kicking themselves in the foot now because they don't have money to pay Mitch Marner. I mean, but going back to Point, man, he's such a huge part of that team. I mean, he's probably going to be in double digits.
No way.
9 to 10.
You 9 to 10. Braden Point's getting $9 million?
He might, man.
Well, if that's the case, they're screwed.
I don't know what these young kids think in their head, man. All they see is dollar signs.
Well, I would too, but come on.
Look at Connor McDavid. He went out and got $12.5 million.
He's the best player in the league.
He's not worth $12.5 million, though, I'll tell you that for sure.
Not when the cap's 81.
I mean,
you can't pay all these guys big money. You're going to be, I don't know. Let's talk the last two here.
Okay.
Mikko Rantanen.
That's a wild card, man.
What do you think he gets? I don't even know what to predict.
Like $8 million?
No.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the best players in the league last year, man.
He was. I know, but 1 year though.
He's gonna repeat that. He's gonna be playing alongside Nathan McKinnon, who is probably a top 3 player in the league by now.
Well, I know.
I think he's behind McDavid. Like, I think he's that good.
I think he was better than McDavid in the playoffs.
You probably say he was.
He's the best player in the National Hockey League.
He might be.
When's the last time you saw an NHL player take charge of a game and a series, throw it on his back, and say, "We're freaking doing this"?
Well, yeah. I mean,
he did it.
Yeah, against Calgary, he literally scored. He literally scored the overtime winner in game 2 and didn't look back.
Dropped it off. Chance for Johnson. Shot. Scores! Pardon me, that was McCarr. And he gets his first NHL goal in the playoffs. On a setup by McKinnon. Cale McCarr.
Nope. They couldn't
Completely.
They couldn't
touch him.
Close to touching him.
Couldn't even knock him off the puck.
No.
That guy's a stud.
What's Brandon gonna get?
I just said $8 million. They got $30 million in cap space.
Okay, so what's Mitch Marner gonna get?
That's the $1 million question every single person's been asking.
So now Mitch Marner's talking with a Swedish team, Zurich, about playing there this year. Now, is this just the grand stage?
It's a PR stunt, man. It's just a PR stunt. That's all it is.
What would you think if Toronto just said, hey, you know what, Mitch?
Go ahead and play.
You go ahead and go do that. I think Mitch Marner would crap his shorts.
I mean,
he'd crap his shorts.
It's a PR stunt.
Call his agent and be like, what in the hell is going on?
It's a strictly PR stunt. That's all this is. I'm not reading much into this. I don't even think he's going to go over there to train.
I think he will. I think he's kind of forced to now. Well, if he doesn't, then they can really call his bluff.
This is like Mitch Marner, like had pocket aces and he showed his hand. Now Toronto can be like, all right, you're going to take this or you're not going to play.
Hey, you know what? I want to stop talking about hockey for a second. I can't believe we're going to stop. This is a hockey podcast. I got a question for you.
Containing what?
The football.
Okay.
Antonio Brown.
Dude, are we really going down this road, man?
Yeah, we are.
Oh my God. What do you want? What do you want from me?
I want to know what you think of this.
Is what like he's a big baby. That's what he is.
Now he's filing another grievance, his second, to be heard on Friday, saying he wants one more year of wearing his old helmet. You know what I would tell him to do if I was the league? Why don't you take your old helmet and truck your ass out of here? Because if that goofball isn't playing pro football, he is the lead checker at Cenex in Chicago.
Here's the thing with Antonio Brown.
He's not getting another job doing anything other than football, so he sure as hell better figure this out.
Hear me out. Antonio Brown, when he's on, he's the best receiver in the NFL.
Okay.
Hands down. The Steelers traded him
because
they knew that he's a cancer. And the Raiders said, "Oh, okay, we'll take him on."
Cancers. The Raiders love that.
I mean, just look at their head coach, man. They knew what they were getting into, but I don't think they expected this at all. They didn't expect this whole fiasco. I mean, their owner said you got to be all in or all out. I don't know where this guy's head's at, man. It's just a helmet, for Christ's sakes.
It's so childish and
so dumb. And then he makes up a thing. Oh, I got frostbite in my feet. It's almost the summer, man. How do you get frostbite? How do you get frostbite in your
special training in Italy?
Oh my God, man!
It sounds like smart trainer that's getting you frostbite.
I guess.
All right, back to hockey. It's time to talk 3 up, 3 down.
Sure.
Blake, let's talk. You want to talk losers or winners first?
Are we doing rise and fall?
Yeah. 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah, let's do fall first.
All right. Tell me your 3 losers and I'll tell you mine.
I got Columbus.
I got Columbus too.
I got Minnesota.
I got Minnesota too.
And I got the 2 California teams, Anaheim and LA.
No, come on. I said 3 up, 3 down.
That's a combined. That's combined.
Don't give me. I'm not taking your bullshit. Not taking your bullshit. I'll cut you right off the show.
Okay, I'll go
3
with
up, 3 down.
Okay, for down, I'll go Columbus, Minnesota, Anaheim.
Okay, you want to hear my? I can't say Anaheim, and here's why. They have got a prospect pool that is good. Sam Steele and they have a good prospect pool.
Are they in the NHL right now?
No,
Exactly. They're on the downfall.
Okay. You know who I have on the downfall for my third
Who?
team? And you watch this. I made a prediction on the Islanders last year. This is my prediction this year. Carolina Hurricanes.
They were number 4 on my list.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're not far off, Blake.
Mm-hmm.
See, we used to completely disagree on everything, and now I don't know. I think you're starting to follow my ways because I think you do.
Hey, man, I ain't a follower, man. I'm just smart.
Yeah. 3 up. Okay. Give me your 3 up. Let's see how many of them we have the same.
I got Florida, New Jersey, Vancouver.
Different.
All of them?
I have one of your 3.
New Jersey,
Nope.
Florida,
Nope.
Vancouver.
Yes.
You actually have
I can just feel it right
it
now.
kills you inside to do that.
I can just see it in your face. You're like, God, I wish I could give him a hug. If we were there, I'd give him a hug.
Oh, man. I think you're pressured into that.
No, I have no pressure. I don't listen to you. You want to hear my other 2?
Sure.
New York Rangers. I love what they did with Trouba.
I like much money.
I don't know. I don't know. You could say that about a lot of guys. I like what they've done this summer. I did.
I like that they bought out Shattenkirk because that should have happened 2 years ago.
I like what they've done. You want to hear my third one?
Fire away.
Colorado Avalanche.
They're already on the rise, though.
Well, that's why I have them in my 3 up.
I mean, I'm talking like teams that like have missed the playoffs and are rising.
Colorado Avalanche.
They're probably going to win the Central Division this year.
I know. That's why they're rising, Blake. That would be the rise.
I had Arizona as a bubble team kind of too. We'll see about that. I'm not sure.
I had Florida as a bubble team.
Yeah.
And you know what, though? I was going to put Florida, but until Florida, they got all this good talent now. I like the roster. And on paper, they look great.
They look really good.
I have looked at Florida's roster so many times and thought, this is a good roster. This team's going to be for real. And they still suck shit. So until they do it, I'm not.
We're all forgetting. Are you forgetting who their coach is this year?
Yeah, I don't care. I want to see January 1. You show me where they're at January 1, and I'll probably tell you that I'm wrong.
Okay.
They have all the potential. They have the potential to win that division.
I'll keep the receipts.
We always do. We keep these. These are all on record. These are recorded, Blake.
Gotta keep the receipts.
Actually, I was gonna not have we were just not gonna have a 70th episode. What I was gonna do is go back through all this year's.
Get out of here! We're not doing that.
I was gonna show, and I was gonna play excerpts of all the times Blake was wrong, and just have that be the 70th episode.
You got to do that for yourself then too, because that ain't fair. You're wrong just as much as me, my guy.
All right, let's talk Stanley Cup odds, and then we'll roll on into 3 questions and let everybody get back to their summer. Odd Shark has got all the odds for this year, and I'm not a big bettor, but they were talking about this the other day on NHL radio, and I thought it was pretty entertaining. So I thought, well, I'm going to steal their idea, man. I'm going to steal it. So I sat down and I looked at Odd Shark's odds, and I came up with two teams that are kind of like long shots to win the cup. But you could win good money if you ended up making it happen. And then I got 4 teams I wrote down that I thought, where the hell is Vegas's odds makers thinking on this one?
Yeah.
The good ones. Here's who I think you could really make some money on. And see, did you do this too, Blake, or did you along for the ride on this second?
I'll be honest. I don't really understand how that stuff works for you.
Okay. So then you could
I'm just along for the ride.
Okay.
I'll tell you my sleepers for the cup though after.
Okay. So Chicago is plus 35. That pays out pretty good money then.
How does that work though?
Well, the higher the number, the less chance that they are of winning the cup.
Oh, okay.
So then your payout's bigger.
Okay.
So at 3,500, the Chicago Blackhawks. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think Chicago's going to win the cup, but I was going to say, like, if you're going to throw down a little bit of money on a flyer like the Blues last year, hey,
yeah,
pretty good. You know who another one? The Rangers are 66 plus 66. That's a lot. That's a big payout.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a couple that I think are over projected. I don't know. They got Vegas and Toronto at plus 1,000, which both Toronto and Vegas are good teams, but wow, that's
Toronto is not winning a playoff series.
well, that's what I thought. And then they have Dallas at plus 2,000. Now I know Dallas did a lot this summer, but I need to see how it pans out on the ice, not on paper. And then
what Joe Pavelski gives you.
And then Florida's plus 25. So I don't know. Who do you think? Now, we're not going to do predictions today. That's coming up in season 3. But if I had to say, who do you think the Cup favorite is right now, who would you say?
If I was to put money on a futures bet, I'm probably putting it on Colorado.
I am putting it on, for this year, I would put my money on Tampa Bay.
Why? So you can get stormed out in this first round again?
Possibly. Colorado's plus 1,200. Tampa Bay is plus 700.
You know who could be a really good team this year?
Who?
If they get one thing. You want to know what that one thing is?
Who?
The return of Corey Schneider.
God.
New Jersey could be a really good hockey team.
No, they can't.
They could.
Come on, Blake.
They could be a decent hockey team.
Come on. No. Come on.
I'm serious.
Hey, let me ask you this question before we get out of here. Then we're going to go on to 3 questions. I got 3 good ones for you. One question, and we're going to get out of here. If you heard Cam Talbot was going to the Calgary Flames 3 years ago, what would you have said?
That was the year he had 40-plus wins. He was actually a really good goaltender. I mean, what do you want me to say? I don't think he's a bad goaltender. He's a good backup.
All right.
But the thing is Riddick ready to play 60 games? I don't know that answer. It might be a 40-40 split.
I'd be fine with that.
Who knows? I don't know. Time will tell on what Peters is up to with that stuff.
All right.
I think Cam Talbot's better than Mike Smith.
Inside Edge Hockey News. Dropping the gloves. And stirring the pot.
It's time for 3 questions.
It is time for 3 questions since it is the last episode of season 2. I'm going to torment Blake another one time. I got 3 questions for him. He'll give me his answer. I'll tell him he's wrong. And then we'll move on to listener question, which is actually kind of a good one tonight. Perfect time of year for this listener question. All right. Question number 1, Blake. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Several teams have announced their 3rd jersey. We saw Carolina's new one today. We've seen Buffalo's last week, I believe. We saw Vancouver a little while before that. What do you like and what do you dislike?
Well, I mean, I love Vancouver's jersey. I like both of them. That black skate logo and the retro hockey stick logo. I love that.
The black skate one is off the charts. Great.
One of the nicest jerseys in the history of the league.
I love.
I wish they went.
I wish they wore
logo.
that all the time. And the white version of that they wore back in the 90s,
yeah,
was even better. Better.
Mm-hmm.
I hate their jersey they have now. I just do.
They got rid of the Vancouver on the top, which
which will help.
It's just the logo now, which I was like, okay, that's a little better. It looks a little nicer.
It's a little better, yeah. It's a little better.
Did you see Carolina's new white away jersey they came out with today?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's my question.
That's not their 3rd jersey.
No, I was wrong. That
okay.
that is their road jersey.
What's your thoughts on nicknames being on jerseys?
Okay, they were ripping it today on one.
I don't have a problem with it.
I didn't mind that jersey, quite honestly.
I like it. I like. They kind of went back to their old roots with the stuff on.
They don't have roots.
I'm talking about their
Carolina.
jersey, man. I'm talking about with their jerseys.
You know what? I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? Every Carolina Hurricanes jersey sucked. So this one's better. So, all right. It's better.
Who's
you
your
know
favorite?
what? They're home jerseys where it's red helmet, red jersey, red pants,
red pants, red
crap.
gloves. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Who's your favorite? You didn't tell me.
I didn't mind Buffalo's the other day, but you got to remember it's an anniversary year.
So is Vancouver's. Yeah.
Thus the colors.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it.
Is Calgary bringing back those retros this year?
Yeah.
For their 40th?
Yeah.
Those are up there too.
I wish they'd bring the retro white back. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want hockey to get goofy like baseball and have a new damn jersey every week. But
I was thinking
I'm okay with their jerseys.
Mm-hmm. They didn't have them last year.
You know what I really wish they would do? I wish they go back to whites at home and darks on the road.
Yeah, so you can see colors everywhere.
Yeah, so you can see colors. I got a buddy that's a season ticket holder to the Blackhawks. And and I love the Blackhawks jersey. But he goes, I come every night, and they're wearing their red every night.
Red and white.
He says the opponent wears white, every single opponent. So he's like, it's the same thing every night. He says back when, in the 90s, when it was the other way, and in the 80s and the 70s, they'd come with their white on, but every night it was a blue Vancouver team in. We had the Red Wings, and they had their red on. We had Toronto in blue. We had Hartford in green. We had, Minnesota in green. I mean, Pittsburgh in black. I mean, it was something every night, I don't know. Question 2. Who's the most annoying player in the National Hockey League?
Oh, it's Brad Marchand. That's not even
Okay, wait a second, though. I should rephrase that. Who's the most annoying player in the National Hockey League off the ice?
Oh.
That's how I meant to write it.
Off the ice.
Yeah. I have 2 of them.
I think you might have stunk me here, man.
Come on, you gotta tell me that there isn't guys that piss you off the ice.
I don't really follow.
I can think of like 30 guys in the NBA and NFL that piss me off the field. But in hockey, I came up with 2.
I would probably still stay Marchand just because I just hate the guy.
I do too. You want to hear my 2? I stumped you. Chalked me up that.
I don't really follow professional players on Twitter or anything. Like off the ice, to me is like Twitter and stuff like that. So like, I don't know.
Okay. You know who irritates me? PK Subban and Drew Doughty.
You don't like PK Subban's training interviews?
No, I don't like anything with him.
Why?
He's ridiculous. He gets traded for the 3rd time. He's supposed to be a premier defenseman. He gets traded for the 3rd time.
Second time.
Okay.
Montreal to Nashville to New Jersey. Okay. Come on.
So instead of looking in the mirror and going, I wonder why I keep getting traded, he's petting his dog and doing a dance in his yard saying, I just can't wait to get to New Jersey now. We're going to be great. He's annoying.
He's dating Lindsey Vonn. He's got something going for him.
I don't think that's a good thing. It's getting Tiger sloppy seconds. Right? We haven't ever said that on this show. God, we would get this show over with. We can't screw up season 2. We can't get in trouble. We had okay. Question number 3. Are offer sheets a dead issue?
I thought we were going to see a lot more this year. It started with Aho. Thought we were going to see a couple more, but I mean, guess it didn't live up to the hype. I thought it was going to be the summer of the offer sheet, man.
Telling you what, if we didn't see them this year, we're never seeing them. So they're done. They're dead.
Yeah, because I don't think there's ever going to be an RFA class like this in a long time.
Nope. All right.
A long time.
We're going to do the listener question, and I got a few things to run through before we end season 2.
Sure.
Listener question comes from Jimmy Anderson, Bloomington, Minnesota. Who are the top 3 fantasy picks this year? And there's a part 2 to this after we answer the top 3. I came up with my top 3.
Okay.
Go ahead. You go first.
I'm going to go, well, the obvious one's McDavid.
I got him.
I got Kucherov.
I got him too.
And I got McKinnon.
That's what I got. See, you think alike here once in a while. Okay, that's your answer, Jimmy. All right. Who's your sleeper pick? I got a good one.
I got a good one too.
Who?
It's in a Western Conference.
Okay.
He wears a green jersey. Can you guess who I'm thinking?
No.
Rope Hintz. I think it's going to be a good sleeper pick.
That is really a sleeper.
It is, man. I don't think he's not going to be on a lot of people's radar, and I think he's going to get a good.
What round? I mean, could you pick him? He's going to be so far down. Yeah, do you know that he played? Do you know that he played in the North American Hockey League?
I did not know that. But honestly, though, he's going to be in Dallas. He's going to be in Dallas's top 6. He played for Austin.
He played for the Bismarck Bobcats.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
What year?
5 years ago? 6 years ago.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm taking Rope Hintz. He's going to be in Dallas's top 6, and he's not going to be.
You want to hear who mine is?
Who's this?
Victor Arvidsson.
I don't think that's a sleeper.
Okay, is he going to go in the top 5 rounds of any NHL fantasy draft?
Depends on what your strategy is.
Look at this. Last year, he had 48 points, 34 goals in 58 games.
Mm-hmm. He
had 61 points the year before, and he had 61 points the year before that.
Mm-hmm. It depends how big your league is, right? I mean, if it's a 12-man league, I don't think he goes past round 5.
Probably not, but that's a pretty good 5th-round pick, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd be a good 5th-round pick. But I like Rope Hintz.
You're going to get him as a free agent.
He's like a round 20 guy, and he's going to be in Dallas's top 6. I like that. I like that pickup. I might take him this year in my fantasy draft. We'll see.
All right. Thanks for everybody for listening to season 2. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Debate Hockey. You can also check out Blake Friars at Friars_Blake and me at Brad Burud on Twitter. Give us a follow. Send us messages. Do whatever you want to do. You can rip on us. We like it. We deserve it. Follow our Facebook page, The Debate Hockey Podcast. Rate and review us on iTunes. And if you're really feeling generous, become a member on Patreon. We've got some great things coming up in next season where we're going to get some extra episodes for Patreon subscribers only. So we would appreciate a membership there and a donation. We will be starting season 3 early in September. We plan on doing 40 shows in season 3. We will have some new things this year. We're going to have some Facebook Live. We're going to have some live shows, whether it be trade deadline special. We're going to do that live. We're going to do a Western Hockey League special in November. Blake and I are loading up the truck, and we're heading up to Brandon for a 2-game series with a live podcast the Saturday afternoon. We're going to talk Western Hockey League. We're going to talk NHL. We're going to talk a little bit of everything while we're up there. We'll also have some contests, some giveaways this year, and we're going to end season 3 with a trip to the National Hockey League Awards show. That is the game plan for season 3. It will be our biggest. It will be our best. And I'm excited. How about you, Blake?
Absolutely, man. Let's get this show on the road.
Thank you for listening to season 2. We will see you in a couple weeks for season 3.
Inside Edge Hockey News on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. Get connected.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com and on Twitter at InsideEdgeHOCKE and Facebook at Inside Edge Hockey News. We'll catch you next time.
This has been a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio, copyrighted and distributed by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.